Hi, welcome back. In this segment, we're going to talk about multiple lines of reasoning. And these are lines of reasoning that are all on the same level. So, for example, here we see two lines of reasoning. There's total of four premises that justify the same conclusion. They have the same start, and they have the same finish. Here, premise one is, the president has a Hawaiian birth certificate. Premise number two is, one who has a Hawaiian birth certificate was born in Hawaii. Therefore, the conclusion is, the president was born in Hawaii. What's depicted here is actually a parallel line of reasoning. These two lines are parallel. Same start, same finish. Here, premise number three is, the president was born in, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Kapiolani Maternity and Gynecological Hospital. Premise four, one who was born in Kapiolani Maternity and Gynecological Hospital was born in Hawaii. So there's two separate lines, parallel lines here, of reasoning in support of the same conclusion. And you can see the impact that can have as we show it with the logic templates. These are the same two lines of reasoning here. This is the line of reasoning 1, which is premises 1 and 2, and line of reasoning 2, which is premises 3 and 4. Now let's look at the subjective perceived levels of certainty. Here, for premise number 1, hypothetically we'll assume the audience gives this premise 50% sense of certainty of being true, and 100% for premise number 2. So overall, the audience would typically have a sense of a 50% of level of certainty of the conclusion. The president was born in Hawaii. But there's more than one road that can bring certainty that connects the beginning and the end of that conclusion. So here we have our second line of reasoning right here. And premise number 3 is, the president was born in Kapiolani Maternity and Gynecological Hospital. One who was born in Kapiolani Maternity and Gynecological Hospital was born in Hawaii. And here again you have the first premise having a 50% sense of certainty, the second premise having 100%. So from this single reason alone, line of reasoning, you arrive at a 50% subjective sense of certainty. But when you add these two together, and it's not a matter of simple addition, there's different theories about how these add up. But you can see just intuitively that having two reasons, each with a certain level of certainty, that overall, when you put them together, that might increase the sense of certainty for that conclusion. And that's, of course, corroboration is a typical example of that. These multiple lines can have different configurations. So this example illustrates two branching lines of reasoning that separate from within the main line of reasoning that then converge together to justify the same conclusion. So here we have two separate lines of reasoning. This one right here and this one right here. So they both start out with the same premise. Premise 1. the president produced a newly recertified Hawaiian birth certificate. So that's the start. But now, here's the branching. Premise 2 in this line of reasoning is one who produced a newly recertified Hawaiian birth certificate was born in Hawaii. And the next premise, one who was born in Hawaii is a natural-born U.S. citizen. So you have 1, 2, 3 premises. But there's also this separate line of reasoning that branches right here. And here you have the president produced a newly recertified Hawaiian birth certificate. One who produced a newly certified Hawaiian birth certificate has the director's support of his Hawaiian birth claim. One who has the director's support of his Hawaiian birth claim is a natural-born citizen. So you can see how there's different types of configurations of how the lines of reasoning can occur. You can have parallel lines, certainly more than just 2, and you can have different branching within the main line of reasoning that together can still increase the level of certainty that might not exist with only one. Thank you.